conditioned and unconditioned joy. Now, what do we mean by that conditioned joy? As I understand it, that is the joy that's attached to all things that are impermanent. All my stuff that brings me joy, all the people in my life that bring me joy, all the causes and conditions that contributed to my perception of what is joyful and what isn't joyful. So all of those impermanent, little Lori, often constricted understandings of what joy is that can contribute to clinging to the people, places, things, thoughts that are mine. And this conditioned joy is lovely, and it doesn't mean it's wrong or less than, it's just different than. And it certainly can be a doorway into unconditioned joy or unconditional joy or boundless joy, a joy that is from the source of the ultimate, that isn't reliant upon things that are impermanent, that whose flip side isn't loss and grief and sadness. It's boundless. It's, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, like the chant we practiced a few weeks ago said. So, and certainly they can go together, and want to play around with that a little bit today. And let me just read a poem, and I'll put it in the chat box later. So Much Happiness by Naomi Shihab Nye. And I'm just going to read a piece of it. It's difficult to know what to do with so much happiness. With sadness, there's something to rub against, a wound to tend with lotion and cloth. When the world falls in around you, you have pieces to pick up, something to hold in your hands like ticket stubs or change. But happiness floats. It doesn't need you to hold it down. It doesn't need anything. Happiness lands on the roof of the next house singing and disappears when it wants to. You are happy either way. And that really spoke to me about not just the elusiveness, but the spaciousness of happiness and the concreteness that we can understand sometimes so much better of sadness and loss and grief. So, wrapping our arms around this concept of joy can seem a little, challenging at times because it lacks that concrete understanding we have of its opposite, of the sadness in our lives. And I thought about, I was at the week before last, a conference, the first in-person live conference with about 650 people. And a dear friend that I hadn't seen in years was there, and we spent a good bit of time together. And it was so joyful to see him, especially because he isn't coming to these conferences anymore. He's not coming to gatherings. He's really retired. He's kind of left the field, and he's a good role model in that regard. But this may be the last time that I see him. And I was very aware of that. And the joy combined with that poignancy, of, wow, it's so great to see you. And we're not spring chickens anymore. And it was hot, and we were in Boston. It was in the 90s, and we were walking to lunch, and he had a bit of emphysema. So, just the joy of still being able to walk, but, the poignancy of it being more arduous to walk for both of us. at our age, and that we're walking, but it may not always be so. And oh, joy is such a mixed bag in that regard. More joyful because here we are, and more poignant because we're here, but not in the prime of our youth. And this may be our last visit together. We don't know. We don't know. Loss will be there. But also reminded me of a story in the discourses where a householder who's just lost his son comes up to the Buddha asking for some wisdom to deal with his deep, deep grief and loss. And the Buddha basically says, everything we love will be the source of our grief and sadness and lamentation. And that was not very satisfying to the householder, and went around, trying to find a better answer for himself. And went to the king and queen, and the king says, you're right, that's not very satisfying. Everything we love is a source of our pain. I don't like that. And the queen says, well, I trust in the Buddha and the Dharma, and if that's the teaching, that's the teaching. And she, went and consulted others and spoke to the monks and came to a deeper understanding, and went back to her husband and said, my darling, do you love me? He says, yes, with all my heart. What if something happened to me? Wouldn't that bring you sadness? He goes, yes, I'd be terribly sad. And what about our son? What if? And the king came to the awareness, yes, everything I love and hold dear is of the nature to change and to be lost. And that's the source of sadness. So there is truth to that. So what do we do with this joy, as people have talked about? Do we not experience joy for the fear of loss? Do we give into that fear? Or do we tap into a deeper joy, not conditioned upon things that are destined to be lost and die and grow old and leave us? So what I'd like you to play with, this game I'd like you to play with me, is look around your room, and you can even get up and grasp it and find something in your room that brings you joy. And you can just gaze on it gently. You can go pick it up and hold it. Let your eyes just rest in that joyful thing. Object, picture, plant, view out your, whatever that is for you. Perhaps something that represents a time in your life that was joyful, and memories that lift your heart up or bring you comfort, or just fun, something that's fun and silly and playful and delightful. I have lots of toys in my office as well. So I have lots of conditioned joy around me. This is Groucho Marx, and he flips. It's a good, silly thing to do. And this is a lovely gift from some benefactors. And it's already fallen. I've already knocked it off my shelf here, and the poor thing's head fell off, but it's glued back on. It's glued back on, but I was bereft for a moment, thinking I lost this gift, this example of generosity and wish for my well-being. So just hold your object for a moment. And breathe into whatever feelings bubble up from the joy, from the warmth, whatever those feelings are.